Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Larry's Anything Goes. Hopefully, you're having a great day. If you've been watching Larry's Anything Goes programming, you know that we are not only providing great financial intelligence content as much as possible by interviewing other financial professionals, professionals in the travel industry, real estate industry, etc., and so forth, but we provide various services when it comes to specific products that we sell, from anything that you would actually find on Amazon or actually at Walmart, etc., and so forth. And we are actually providing specific products due to today's current crisis and whatnot to ensure that we provide the right services and products that you need at a reasonable price when it comes to medical face masks, when it comes to hand sanitizer, and when it comes to latex gloves and things of that nature, and etc., and so forth, toilet paper, paper towels. But we have what you need. Also, family, don't forget that Larry's Anything Goes is a part of an affiliate marketing network known as Gold Standard Partners, where you have the opportunity to buy cryptocurrency and allow others to invest with you as becoming an affiliate marketing partner. And obviously, if they purchase a package with the program, you're able to make money off their package purchases and make money off of their crypto purchases and things of that nature. If you want to join, please follow the links in the description, and I'll give you a call as soon as you sign up and purchase a package, and we'll go from there. But definitely, it's all about the best way to make money moves is to have currency with one another and to ensure that currency is always being spoken of on all levels, so it benefits everyone and not just one specific person. That's a lot of things that people forget about. So think about joining the program, and we'll be able to go from there. But if not, either way, it's always appreciated. And thank you for watching. And hopefully you guys have a great day and continuously make money moves so you don't live broke like a fool. Take care. As you can see, with our various products, we have our financial apparel. As you see, wearing There's Anything Goes t-shirt, financial intelligence is sexy, face masks, latex gloves, things of that nature, to obviously ensure the safety of you and your family all at the same time. We want to ensure that you get the best products and see the actual products that we're actually providing for you, and giving you another view of not only the shirts and the medical masks, but actually another view of actual latex gloves and the actual hand sanitizer. Because one thing we've learned throughout this unfortunate crisis is that we have to take more precautionary measures to ensure not only the safety for ourselves, but for our families. And having a great pair of hand sanitizers, latex gloves, and medical face masks will ensure that safety. And with all that being said, hopefully you guys will check out our online store. We have the various products that you see here. With a couple of clicks, especially if you're paying via PayPal, it makes life that much easier for you to purchase our various products, especially during this unfortunate situation. You see the apparel from Larry's Anything Goes. We have the medical products when it comes to hand sanitizer, latex gloves, medical face masks, things of that nature, and various other products. So please check out Larry's Anything Goes. Support small local businesses. We greatly appreciate it, and hopefully that you have a good day. How goes the family? How goes it? Welcome back to Larry's Anything Goes. Hopefully, you guys are having a great and exceptional day. It is Sunday evening, and I usually don't go live on Sunday evenings this late, but still, I think right now I'm fully caught up to everything right now in life since I got back from Houston, Texas, and still playing catch up, still doing what I got to do. But it's at the end of the day, it's all good in the neighborhood. Now, today we're going to be talking about Irving and whatnot. And at the end of the day, Kylie Irving Kyrie Irving. I've never heard about this guy because if you've been watching me for years now, you know I don't watch sports. I got nothing against my sports fans. Do what you do. I'm not a sports guy. I am into books. I am into podcasts. I'm into music. That's my thing. So everybody has their thing. Everybody, people have love video games. People, I work out as far as hobbies, working out, eating healthy, listening to podcasts. The only time I listen to music is when I work out. I don't do sports, so I'm not knocking my sports fans. But the thing is, what's happened is he's had to, like a lot of employees, he's had to bend the knee. This unfortunately, it's sad, but it's true. Now, if you don't know, he and I think with this one, this was the most outrageous one. Like, because with Kanye, I was just like, really, just shut up. Really, you're wasting time. You're supposed to be a billionaire. You're supposed to be making billionaire moves. Whatever the truth is, who cares? I mean, the loudest thing in the room needs to be what you're doing with your money and what your business is and whatnot, not with your mouth. So I've always said that about Kanye West. Like there's so many billionaires that are on his level, but we never know who these people are because they are the quietest people in the freaking room. They don't even dress like a quote unquote billionaire. You would never know until you actually went to their homes or even saw the cars that they drive. But they're the quietest people in the room because they're trying to they're willing and dealing and making they're getting things done. That's how it's supposed to be when you're a successful business person, period. But I digress. But anyways, Kylie Irving, he is an employee of the NBA, like we saw when in the NFL when football players were doing a silent protest during a national anthem. Everybody got their tails in they're up in arms and whatnot, saying it was disrespectful. Even though Colin Kaepernick said, "Hey, I discussed this with a veteran who said this would be the proper way to protest during a national anthem without being disrespectful to the military." But at the end of the day, when you're an employee, whether you're a high paid employee or not, because Kylie Irving shared a documentary that was on Amazon on his Twitter about history the history of Judaism and whatnot, and how brown skinned people, mainly specifically people of my complexion, play a part in that in history. And because he shared a documentary, the crazy thing, a beautiful thing about the United States of America is you're supposed to be able to quote unquote have freedom of speech, and that's and a lot of times people make documentaries that people don't like, and that's cool. It's like Larry Flint said, even though he was the founder of Hustler magazine. Don't like it, don't buy it. Crazy concept, right? Don't like it, don't watch it. Crazy concept, right? But when you're an employee of any company, there's not freedom. Freedom of speech is not always going to be freedom of speech. There's always going to be a cost when you work for somebody. And I just think, and I'm going to get into what they're making him do early, but I want to ensure that I put this thought out. I just think that for my current but definitely for my future high paid employees, you are going to have to put yourself in a position to where you only are a high paid employee for a couple of years, not for, and when I say a couple of years, I'm saying five at the most. Five at the most. Okay. You're at that level, five at the most, 5 years at the most. And I say that because um, if you want to be able to speak your mind, you got to be able to have resources outside of the box. Okay, you're gonna have to have resources out the box. And when I say financial resources, I'm talking about and I'm talking about having backup economic backup plans and whatnot. You know, that's just what it is. Um, you gotta have to have economic backup plans because if you want to be able to speak your mind. Because here's the it's like here because here's the thing. A lot of times employers will not hire you if they see certain derogatory things online, your social media. That's just one thing. A lot of people don't want to understand that. And I'm really just saying this. Am I saying it's right or wrong? I can't say it's wrong because of one reason. When you own something, you have a right to do what you want with it, quote unquote. So if you're the owner of a I don't agree with it, but I do the other aspect of it because you got to look at things from an analytical perspective. I know that when you own something, it's like to my homeowners in the room. If somebody says something that you don't agree with in your house, are you just going to let them get away with it? Whether it's right or wrong, whatever they say, and trust me, by any means, I'm not defending the NBA because I don't even care about the NBA. I don't own any NBA. The NBA does not make money from me unless they just make money off of me broadcasting. Because I've never been to an NBA game. I will never go to an NBA game because I find the sport boring as hell. I find all sports boring as hell unless I'm playing the sport. But watching a game is not my cup of tea. So that's the only thing in life that quote unquote doesn't make me a man's man because I'm not into watching sports. I'm not knocking people that are into it, but I don't care. Like NFL, I don't care. Okay, it's like I don't watch the Super Bowl. I don't watch any NFL football games. They get no ratings from me. I could care less if they're not. The world will still turn for Larry's Anything Goes if the NFL and NBA did not exist. So I can say this from a place of I don't care about these organizations whatsoever, regardless of what they do. Even if they were the most friendliest freedom of speech organizations on the planet, I still would not care about the NFL or the NBA. So let me make that clear. That's the importance of that to me. If they said, "Yeah, Kyrie Irving, you can say whatever you want to. We'll support you," I still would not care. I just wouldn't be talking about this right now. But I still don't care about the NFL or NBA. But I will say that when you work for an employer, there's rules of engagement and you have to act accordingly. That's why, especially when you are in the sports arena, they have all these moral clauses and whatnot. And if you violate those clauses when you sign those contracts, they have those moral clauses. Then they have a right to terminate you, possibly find you. Because you did not, you did not adhere to the agreement of the contract. Now, I'm not going to act like I'm a lawyer or anything of that nature, but a contract is a contract, and you sign it. It is what it is. Like people when they sign the military, when people go to the military and whatnot, they have to abide by specific rules and regulations. Like you can't smoke marijuana in the military. Even if you're stationed in like Maine or California or Nevada or Michigan or Colorado and whatnot, Washington or Oregon or whatnot, you cannot smoke weed if you are in the United States military because they give you your analysis test. If you're a government employee for the most part, federal, state, and local for the most part, you're not allowed to smoke marijuana. So there's rules and regulations you got to adhere to. Okay, does it make it right or wrong? That's not up for me to decide. When you work for an employer, you have to deal with you have to go with the guidelines that they set forth because because it's like especially to my what is it to a lot of my people that are in the sex working industry now. I don't know any specifically, but if you some actually have regular day jobs because just most majority of the sex workers, me doing the research, they're not going to be able to afford making a living off of that unless they have to be doing something else on the side. Um, but a lot of times employers are not going to hire you if they find your social media and they find your OnlyFans page. That's just something to take into consideration. The stuff that you put out there on social media, a lot of times employers are not going to want to hire you. I can't tell you since the social media thing has started how many people have lost a job or could not find a job because of the stuff that they put out on social media. You know, and hey, that's quote unquote freedom of speech, putting out an opinion piece. That's quote unquote what is it? I remember that one woman who was in the park in New York City and the guy was bird watching, and she said she made basically a phony complaint because she didn't have a leash on her dog, and he was like, "You're supposed to have a leash on your dog," and she's like, "I'm going to call the police and say a black man is harassing me." I forgot her name because that's how relevant she is to me, but I remember she got fired for doing that from her job. There's consequences to when you do things, whether it's right or wrong. There's consequences to when you do things in this life. And do I think that Kyrie Irving should have got fired or kicked out for 5 games and whatnot, suspended for 5 games? Absolutely not. For sharing a post, not cussing anybody out, not posing nude, not having sex with anybody online, but he shared a post from a documentary that he watched on Amazon. I think it's ridiculous, but I'm not his employer. That's the thing. I'm on the side of him. I'm on his side, and anybody else who should have the right to share what they want to share. But the thing is, when you're not your own boss, you have to pay the consequences. That's just what it is. It's not. I'm not saying it's right. Trust me. I am dead set against it, but it is what it is. Okay, because and that's what I said. It's like at this point, when it comes to entertainers and really anybody, not just entertainers, anybody who gets paid good money, but especially the people who are making 300,000 to millions of dollars a year and whatnot, you need to have the mindset of I need to set myself up so I can turn my job into an option. Because the longer you don't turn your job into an option, and all have to do is do one thing, one mistake, and then boom, you could get suspended or fired. Now he has to pay restitution, all right, to the Jewish Anti-Defamation League, or I forgot the name of them. I'm getting it wrong, but I think it's nonsense. He has to pay up to $500,000. Plus, he has to do take sensitivity training or whatnot to show that he's not anti-Semitic or anything of that nature. So it's as to quote Bernie Sanders, I think this whole thing is a quagmire and whatnot. I really do. I think it's ridiculous. I think it's stupid that the fact that this man has to do this. Like I said, I didn't even know who he was because he plays for the Brooklyn Nets. I did not know who this man was until I found out, um, you know, a week ago or whatnot, when they were attacking him for speaking his mind, for watching a documentary, liking a documentary, and tweeting about a documentary. So that this message really just goes out to the working people of America, is that what you put out there could come back and haunt you. I remember seeing a case every now and then. I like to watch cases on TV court shows, and this one young lady dated a young man and went out on a couple of dates with him, and she actually was a paralegal at a law firm. And what he ended up doing was he put out and from basically defamation, that and she was suing him for defamation because he put out information saying that she sleeps around just so she can get free meals and whatnot, because they went on a couple of dates and it didn't work. So because he spent money on a date, which my mindset is, if you got a problem with spending money on a date, then don't go on a date with anybody. That's the purpose of dating, is to go spend some money. All right, but I'll leave it at that. But anyways, and then she ended up getting fired because he was putting out these blogs about her and attaching her name to it and whatnot. And he actually had to pay her restitution in a sense for doing that, because the law firm that she worked for saw these blogs and whatnot and like, hey, we can't have somebody like you representing our law firm or whatnot. We have high-end clients. Okay, we have high-end clients, so we can't afford to have somebody like you working for us. So we're gonna have to let you go. And this is no fault of her own. This young lady did nothing wrong. She went on a couple of dates with a guy, it didn't work out, and because he acted like, because we have this simp culture of men, when things don't work out, they cry like little babies and whatnot. So we have this culture of men that will go on social media and whine about something instead of just being a man and figuring it out. You know, overly emotional male syndrome, as I like to call it sometimes. But that's the world we live in right now. But anyways, I digress. But let's get into the specifics of what they're making this young man do, because he's been suspended from at least 5 games for failure to disavow anti-Semitism, um, and obviously the owner of the Nets came to this decision. Um, of the Brooklyn Nets came to this decision, and there was statements on Irving last Saturday night following Pelicans' loss to Atlanta Hawks. Stated, I think the important part was he did apologize because they made him apologize. First, he wasn't going to apologize. I don't see why anyone should apologize for sharing a documentary that someone saw on good old Amazon. But anyways, but they made him apologize first after, because they suspended him, so of course he's like, okay, you messing with my livelihood now. um and they said I think he displayed empathy now. I think this is a learning experience in which I don't think he understands the magnitude of the movie because he didn't watch it. I don't think he understands the magnitude of the people that were affected over a movie, how they were impacted, and how fast hate can spread, and how this can snowball. So telling the truth is hate. Got you. In his apology Thursday night, Irving wrote that the movie he had posted about contained some false anti-Semitic statements, narratives, and language that were untrue and offensive, adding that he took full responsibility for the post. He shared a post. And I don't see how anything is anti-Semitic when you're not insulting anybody, because one thing, and I need to make a video of this, I don't condone the use of the N-word around me, especially people, not only people of my race but other races too, because the word is used so freely in rap music, so everybody thinks they can just say it, but that kind of music, that kind of stuff doesn't get flagged on social media, heaven forbid that day ever happened. um but anyways, at the end of the day, I'm not going to get all into this because most people know what happened, but I don't see how the documentary is anti-Semitic. One, but two, original people and scientists have done this look like me or even darker of the earth. Everybody knows that civilization started in Africa, but I leave that one alone. But anyways, at the end of the day, I just think at this point, the real lesson to be learned when it comes to this situation is that if you're making if you're in a millionaires club, in a billionaires club, you need to be able to have options, number one. But two, um if you know you're going to have to work with a specific kind of people, and regardless if they like it or not, you're going to have to play by their rules because they got the power. Ye has learned this lesson. Even he had to apologize. Nick Cannon had to apologize. Now Kyrie Irving has had to apologize. Do I think it's right? Absolutely not. But I don't think there's really anything free. There's no such thing as freedom of speech when it comes to you're dealing with powerful people. That's what it is. There's no such thing as freedom of speech when you're dealing with powerful people. All right. But it's because it's like I was making the reference earlier in regards to when you come in my house, you're not entitled to freedom of speech, because if you insult me in my house, then that means you need to get out of my house. That's what it is. A lot of times, freedom of speech isn't free. Elon Musk bought Twitter, so now everybody's gone crazy, and of course, the use of the N word has quadrupled ever since he bought Twitter and all that great stuff. Really could care less about Twitter. If you follow me on Twitter, LarrysAnythingGoes LLC. I just post my business stuff. Every now and then I might look at Twitter, but I've been trying to cut my social media down tremendously because I find it to be a waste of time. The only social media I really like to engage in the most is YouTube, because I like to listen to intellectual conversations. So that's just me. But at the end of the day, um, I will say with all sincerity that I feel for Kyrie Irving and anybody else who has to deal with this nonsense. But when when people have power, they make the rules. That's what it is. And because here's the thing: if most people were able to practice freedom of speech at work, or even on social media and whatnot, I think you would have way more twerking videos. I think you would have a lot more racist videos out there on social media where people are not hiding behind a fake profile. And I think in the workplace, more and more people would speak their mind. Because one could be working in a hostile environment and not even know it. Because a lot of people are great at pretending to be something that they're not, because most working people have to pretend to be something that they're not in order for them to keep their job. I don't care if a person works at a fast food joint, a warehouse, a IT office, a medical facility, whatever the case may be, in the military, law enforcement, you know, whatever the case may be. A lot of people have to put on a front when they're dealing when in the work world, and we're even learning more now that more people have to put on a front when it comes to social media. That's why you have all these fake profiles. That's why you have all these profiles with no pictures or picture of somebody else, because people want to be able to speak their mind, but they want to be able to do it without anybody knowing their real name, not even hearing their voice, and not even seeing their face. And I think that's just going to continue to grow because the masses will not allow people to have their quote unquote freedom of speech, because it's like, hey, we control the paycheck. And when it comes to the paycheck, you need it, especially in today's world. But all I can say to a person like Kyrie Irving is, after you deal with this unfortunate thing, because like I said, he's going to have to, take sensitivity training and pay restitution. $500,000, a lot of money. But I hope his other fellow NBA counterparts see that, one, obviously basketball is not forever, but two, you got to have economic backup plans at this point, because if not, you're going to be screwed. I mean, I know Kanye West or Ye has his GoFundMe now because people are supporting him because of his what he's had to go through, and more power to him. I really don't care about Kanye West. I'm not like I didn't hear from this guy for a long time until he started spewing stupid nonsense like he always does, because the man knows how to keep people talking about him. He's the king of that. I give him that much credit, But I rarely, if ever, listened to his music. When he first came out, I loved a couple of songs that he made, but I was never a Ye Kanye West fan. Never was. You know, I always said the moment I saw him on Punk, I'm like, this guy's a jerk. So why, it's like I said, I was affected by Nipsey Hussle being killed more than I will ever be by Kanye West being silenced. I'm just gonna keep it real, because Nipsey Hussle was about that work. Kanye West is just about being about Kanye West. So, you know, Kyrie Irving, make as much money as you can from the NBA. This is my message to him and anybody like him in this position. Make as much money as you can from the NBA. Don't stay in the NBA as long as you can. Just make as much money as you can. Have an economic plan, um, and go from there. And when it comes to social media, don't just you don't have to put all your business out there. And because especially from now on and for the rest of your life, that they're going to be watching you like a hawk. You got a target on your back. So, and this is another message. Even like hey, I'm all for freedom of speech, but I'm telling this is just a message to the younger generation. Just don't put all your feelings out there on social media. I think about a lot of things. I don't put it out online. I have a lot of way more in-depth discussions that doesn't see the light of day on social media, and that's one reason why I'm actually happy to be a millennial, because I'm glad I grew up. Half of my life, I did not have social media. Okay, mostly during my adult life, my early to mid 20s. That's when I discovered social media. So I implore all the young people out there: don't put every stupid thing or crazy thing that you do, and don't put every single freaking feeling out there that you feel, because eventually it will come back to bite you in the butt. It will, because you have to eventually grow up and face the real world, and the real world is not what you think it is. Okay, the real world, you got to put on the front of who you really are, because if you don't, you will be chastised for it, and that's just real. And that's something that a lot of people don't want to hear, but it's just a reality. I think if everybody, quote unquote, practiced their freedom of speech all the time online, then I think most people would not be able to get a job. That's just something to think about. Most people will not be able to have customers. A lot of people have gone out of business, or sales have gone down and whatnot, because of their projection of quote unquote hate or quote unquote freedom of speech. That's just what it is. A lot of things just don't need to be put out there online. And here's another thing: be passionate about something that truly matters. you know and if you are passionate about it, find a way that's it's going to help other people, one, and then two, find a way that's going to actually help you make some money, because the saddest thing in today's world, that I see because of social media is you have so many adults that are passionate about things that are so irrelevant because they have mediocre, boring lives and they want to live vicariously through other people. And to me, it's like you're supposed to be making your claim in this world outside of being basic. So why don't you do that instead of just trying to live vicariously through other stars and athletes? That's another thing that kind of bothers me. It was one thing to do that as a child and as a teenager, but as a grown man, I don't want to live vicariously through anybody else. I want to live vicariously through myself. And Kyrie Irving, like I said, any other current or future sports players, do your best, get your money right, get your money tight, because if not, then these people are going to continuously have the control over you. And it's not going to be anything you can do about it. So that's just what it is. Beautiful thing about being in entertainment, sports, you put in a position to be able to make a lot of money moves if you're willing to play the game for a little bit. But it's just like any other employee. You got to get in there. I don't care who you work for. You got to play the game. As long as there's nothing that's going to be, against the law or quote unquote physical abuse or anything of that nature. To play with your life. That's my mindset. But you got to do what you got to do, because if not, these people are gunning for you. Especially in today's economy and tomorrow's economy. You got to remember that. So do the great three things. Like, share, and subscribe. Hopefully you guys have a great day. If you're a stock market investor, crypto investor, individual retirement account investor, don't forget to check out Stash, WEBULL, Acorn, Crypto.com, Coinbase, all those platforms. You're able to make some money. Plus, WEBULL, you get some free stocks and all that good stuff. Hey, and if you want to get a great credit card for your personal use or business use, think about signing up with American Express credit cards, all right? But on that note, I'm out. And as Mr. Louis Gossett Jr., or my bad, as Mr. Booker T. Washington would say,
don't hate the player, don't hate the game.
and Kyrie Irving, you're a player in the game of life. So you know what it is at this point. You've been given the reality. You might not like it. It might taste salty right now. Do what you got to do. Make your money in the NBA and get the hell out of the NBA. That's the only thing I can say. Make your money moves and get the hell out, because you see what it is. You don't need to be spit in the face twice to be knowing that the reality isn't as great as you thought it was going to be. You worked hard to get to where you're at right now. Don't let them suck it away from you, but do what you got to do. All right. So on that note, do the great three things. Like, share, and subscribe. Have a great day. As I always say, make money moves or you're going to live broke like a fool. Take care.
Mike, now.